So I am playing a request game requested by Robert. Hope you enjoy it.
遥か空に手伸ばして何がつかめるのだろうか切な乱れるしじまの時を咲く白き刃風のように遠く離れたあの人へ叫びをあげても届かなくてたとえ悲しみがまとうともあなたの背中を覆う闇の彼方まで時の流れにも抗うのなら散りゆく桜に鼓動は飲まれる震い続けた命の狭間で行き着く場所も知らずに駆け抜けてく
Hello, Robert. Welcome. This is the game you requested, right? Oh, okay. No relevant draw inspiration from certain historical figures in the but not to be confused with actual people in real life. Thank you for listening. January 1864. Well, this is Kyoto. What's awfully impressive there? What was denying it? Even the simple hello between people passing in the street seemed warm and friendly. They nodded and smiled one another almost as if they were in family, not strangers on an errand. Still, but something else as well, something that made the city feel strangely cold, almost as though there was a gray, invisible wall shutting but anyone who wandered in from the country. Hmm, it was particularly comfortable, have to admit. No, that's all in my head. Walked quite some distance to reach Kyoto. It occurred to me, in my mind and body, were both very tired. So tired there was no reason for me to stand about feeling sorry for myself. I couldn't afford to, after all. I must be broke. Oh damn. Excuse me. With a new force of resolve, I tried to stop a passerby. Sorry, but I seem to be a bit lost. Could you... What am I supposed to do now? You know what happened? Probably I got ignored. I was lost again, but in a different sort of way. Wonder where he would direct me. I found myself looking up at the darkening sky. The sun was beginning to set. Almost for the land of the rising sun. The people I spoken to hadn't been unkind, and they gave me directions I needed, but couldn't have chosen a better time to leave the city. Apart from my father, there was only one other person in the city who I could rely on. Dr. Matsumoto. Dr. Matsumoto was a doctor in service to Shogunata. I never met him myself, but my father put a great deal of trust in the man. He had told me that if I should run into any trouble during his absence, I was to contact Dr. Matsumoto Gensai Tofu. Hello, Chronic, welcome. Unfortunately, Dr. Matsumoto Gensai Tofu was apparently out of town on business and would not return for some time. Was I too hasty? Perhaps I should have waited. It was rather rude to visit unannounced, which was why I had sent a letter ahead of me. Of course, if he had been gone for very long, then he had almost certainly not read my letter. Perhaps I thought I should have waited for a reply. Even more traveling alone to a city I never even seen. But no, I knew I could not have waited any longer. Happy Easter, thank you. Something wrong, father? He paused for a moment and looked at me.
実はな、しばらくの間、京の都へ行くことになった。
Seems I must go to the city of Kyoto for a time. Work again? Even leaving the house often, then sometimes for days at a time. Hello, Nicholas, welcome. How long will you be gone?
それはわからん。
I'm afraid I can't say.
二月になるか。
A month perhaps. Maybe 2. Oh no. They must be really broke. Oh. There was no hiding my disappointment. Nonetheless, I wasn't a child anymore. I couldn't beg him not to go, or some other foolishness. Yes, I'd be lonely, but I was much more worried for him. Please, father, be careful. They say that the city of Kyoto is dangerous. He only smiled and nodded.
安心しなさい。
You needn't be.
お前が心配しないように、今日にいる間はできる限り手
I
紙
will be sure to send you letters as often as I'm able to. There will have to be no need to worry. Okay, if you promise. Father kept his promise. A new letter arrived every day, and I scarcely had the time to respond before another would arrive. He told me that he would worry about me home all by myself. Don't deliver letters cost money? If they're hurting for money, maybe he should only send them once a week or once a month. Then the letter stopped. Gee, I did not see that coming. A whole month passed with no word from my father, and I began to worry. Father, the Kyoto School of Ronin is not a safe place. Oh no, people with swords. What will I ever do? Usually a samurai is paid by their house, but Ronin would know how to report to often rob people in order to make ends meet. They're nothing more than violent criminals who hide behind the image of the samurai. Such is the state of the city of Kyoto, the city of Ronin. No wonder then that I worry for my father's safety. My mind would connect horrible possibilities, and I inevitably found myself depressed and tense. I suppose I need to find a place to stay. Thoughts in thought, I hadn't noticed that night had already fallen. I was home with myself. I hadn't the first idea how long it might take to find my father. Taking some money with me, but it wasn't much, enough to last me a month. I hope if I use it wisely. If I could find father in that time, so much be better. If not, hopefully Dr. Matsumoto Gensai Tofu will return before my funds ran out. Should I be unable to find either of them, then it seems I would be forced to return home. Well, at any rate, I should try and be as frugal as possible. So I lengthened my stride and set off down the street. Fortunately for me, mansplaining was much more conductive to such a pace than my usual dress would have been. I decided early on that Kyoto was far too dangerous for a girl from the country. Oh, I'm playing a girl. Wait, Robert, is this a dating simulator? Yeah, whatever. Or to explore alone. And that would be wise for me. To dress like a man, or at least a boy. My disguise, such as it was, had proven successfully, and I made it all the way to Kyoto unmolested. Oh no, I don't like the sound of that. It's when you say stuff like that bad stuff happens. Perhaps that success had gone to my head, and let me think a girl dressed as a boy could explore Kyoto as she pleased. Are you sure about that? Because I'm seriously concerned about my character right now. Well, Kyoto is not a safe place. I should have remembered that. Oh no, here it comes. Instead, I had somehow convinced myself that whatever dangers the city hid didn't apply to me. Gee, you think?
おい、そこの小僧。
Hey kid! I was about to discover otherwise. Gee, I did not see that coming. Or did I? I spun around, and in the street in front of me were 3 males running. Oh no, here we go. 3. And I'm playing one girl. This can't be good. Can I help you? I did my best to keep my voice calm. As I reacted, and what I felt was a nonchalant way for my Kodachi. Hello, Nagato, welcome. My father had made me take lessons in self-defense. I kept with them, and actually done rather well. My skill was enough to defend against most attacks, but then again, perhaps it was my confidence in my skill that had put me in this situation in the first place. Maybe you should just run. What's stopping you from running? I can't see what's going on. I messed up and let my guard down. My fault. There was a chance I could take them on and win. 3 against 1, what would make you think that, I wonder? There were 3 of them and 1 of me. What did I just say?
ガキのくせにいいもん持ってんじゃねえか。
Pretty nice way you got there, kid. Yeah, sure, take it. Just don't hurt me. Only then did I realize they were far more interested in my sword than they were on me.
小僧には過ぎた。
Looks a bit much for a pup like this one. Am I right?
よこせ。国のため
Keep it here, okay?
やる。
We'll use it to defend our country. But this sword wasn't just some blade I picked up. It had been passed down to my family for generations. There was no way I could give it to them. Unfortunately, I had a feeling they wouldn't understand. In such a situation, the best decision was, undoubtedly, to run away. And so I turned and ran as fast as my legs would carry me. Hello, DJ, welcome.
あ？おい、待ちやがれ小僧。
Hey, get back here, you little bastard! Gee, they sure don't give up easily, do they? Well, they're bandits. Looking for money. What am I supposed to do? I felt like I've been running quite a while, but I could still hear the running behind me. Passing loudly, I ducked into an alley and flooded myself against the wall. They weren't too close. I crept farther into the alley. Farther. Someone had left a couple of sheets of wood leaning against one of the houses. It was a perfect spot to hide. I don't agree with that. That's a bad hiding spot. But what can I do? I can't see what's the area. With luck, I thought as I kneeled down to shovel under them, this will get me out of this mess. Gee, fingers crossed. Uh, Something was wrong. I expected them to hear yelling to each other, looking for me, but seconds turned into minutes. Oh, what's going on? My controller keeps just firing off. Great. I just charged the battery yesterday. Hurry out. Well, good thing I finally have a wire. Restream, wonder what happened. They began to scream. What? My plan to investigate was immediately halted. Remaining silent and hidden was clearly more important. Still,
しょやりやがったな
damn you!
そうなんで死なねえんだよダメだこいつら刀が効かね
What is this? What will you die? Damn it, we gotta get out of here! It was then the true fear began to set in. There was something out there, something very, very dangerous, something quite possibly lethal. The possibilities were, well, my imagination conjured up no shortage of gruesome theories. Even so, I could feel that itch of curiosity. I wanted to know what was out there. Slowly, carefully, I edged off in the corner and looked out full moonlight. Glared back at me from the bare blade of a drawn sword. My eyes followed the blade up to the arm that held it, clad in a coat of light blue. Had this person saved me? But no sooner had it appeared, the hope was dashed.
助け
Help me, little boy! I could hear the Ronin begging for life. As he stumbled back, the person in the blue coat said nothing, just stepped forward with its sword raised. Oh my. I just started and we're already witnessing death. He dead. Poor guy. And he was only trying to rob me. I don't like the sound of that laugh. I'm very scared. A high screeching laugh cut through the man's scream. The blade fell through the air more like a butcher's cleaver than a sword. No technique, no skill, just death. The screen turned suddenly wet, caught and disappeared like an air leaving a half-empty bellows. My eyes went wide. I had just watched a murder. Oh no, I was dead on. Whatever strength Aladdin had given me was suddenly gone. My legs gave way, and I crumbled to the ground. My eyes had gone so wide I thought they might never close. The Ronin had died with the first blow, but as I watched the blade kept falling, carving deep lines into the corpse. Oh no, the murder is still going even though he's already dead. How gruesome! How cruel! What a terrible, terrible world for that Ronin. The soft slip of a blade through flesh, the crack of a struck bone, the silent creep of blood across ground. I felt nothing then but madness. Their only desire was raw animal violence. Whatever they were, it wasn't human. They were broken. I could feel my throat closing up. I couldn't breathe. A warm, dark smell brushed against my face. It took me a moment to recognize the coppery line of blood. An icy bolt of fear ran down my spine, crawling way out into my limbs and freezing me in place. I was terrified. What was I going to do? What could I do? You have to run, Chizuru. I forced my jaw open and drew a rapt breath. This was the only chance I'd get. I had to. Oh my. But my body still numb with fear was less than responsive. I lurched sideways into the wood stack against the building. With a rough clatter, it collapsed. Oh no, I'm fucked. Oh my god, is this Resident Evil visual novel? The creatures turned their blue coat drenched in blood, hideous grins, glittering human faces, and they shook with animal excitement and finding fresh prey of slaughter. Oh no, I better start running. I had to run. I couldn't die yet, but my legs are refusing to move. Oh no, this cannot end good. The hideous cackling, the laughter began again. I was going to die here. My body frozen with terror. I couldn't even scream. That was it. This was the end of my beautiful self. What? I watched them rise their bloody swords, the moon gleaming off the metal. Then there was a flash of light and a soft splash of blood. I could feel it, warm and sticky. Oh, it must be on her face. Oh my. He began to rise in my throat, but before the disgust took hold, I heard a voice.
ああ、残念だな。
This must be the boyfriends. Really? The words suggested disappointment, but the voice sounded happy.
僕一人で始末しちゃうつもりだったのに。斉藤君、こんな時に限って仕事が早いよね。
And here I was planning to take care of them all on my own. Couldn't you have picked another day to work so fast? Saito? Hajime Saito, really? That's Hajime Saito. Oh, those Orkana do look like the Shinsengumi robes. As he spoke, the strange man smiled, almost as if he were enjoying himself.
俺は務めを果たすべく動いたまであんたと違って俺に戦闘狂の気はない。
Hello, Ronnie, welcome. I only did my job, unlike you. I take no pleasure in battle. Okay, this is definitely not Hajime Saito. Hajime Saito likes battle.
まあ、ひどい言い草だな。
Well, that's not a very nice thing to say. He laughed.
否定はしないのか。
Oh, it is Hajime Saito. Oh my god, this is Rurouni Kenshin. Same name, same hair color, same Shinsengumi uniform form. OMG. And that other guy must be Jinae. The man called Saito sided, with the air of a long-suffering companion, and looked over at me.
でもさ、あいつがこの子を殺しちゃうまで黙って見てれば、僕たちの手間も省けたのかな。
Maybe, but if you just sat back and let them kill her, you could have saved us some trouble. Wonder what the Batoisai is. Look, John Hajime Saito and Jinae. His tone was light, but his words confirmed my fears. I had left the frying pan, yes, but I was now in the fire. Oh no.
さあ、少なくともその判断は俺たちが下すべきものではない。
Perhaps. That decision is not ours to make. Then there was someone in charge of these two. I thought Saito was the captain of the Shinsengumi. Their conversation seemed to suggest they were part of an organization of some sort. As I thought about it, I remember hearing stories of a group of men with blue coats. My thoughts were interrupted by a dark shape gliding into view. Okay, now he definitely looks like Hajime Saito I know, but with long hair. I swallowed hard. The moonlight shone off his smooth, dark hair, for reasons I couldn't fathom. In that moment, the light on his hair made me think of fluttery flower petals, almost as if the cherry trees were blooming out of season. What a terrible time to think about cherry blossom.
運のないやつだ。
Luck is not your friend tonight, you think? His voice was cold and quiet, like a plate of ice. Blue-white moonlight reached his slender face, and thrown from the blade he held pointed at my chest. Oh no, not the chest. But it wasn't the sword that made me breathe catch in my throat. It was his cold eyes. They were fierce and hard, but somewhere behind them I could catch a glimpse of something else. There could be no doubt that this was prepared to kill me, and yet he looked troubled. Not kindness, but perhaps mercy was the difference.
いいか、逃げるなよ。背を向ければ切る。
Run, and I will kill you. Do you understand? Hello, Rene, welcome. I nodded. There was no doubt he meant every word he said. He stared at me for a moment, then grinned and with a sign put his sword away. I was too surprised to stop myself from speaking. It quickly became apparent that I wasn't the only one.
あれいいんですか土方さん。この子さっきの見ちゃったんですよ。
Wait, Hijikata, are you sure about this? These kids saw, well, everything. They can be good. As he spoke to the man he called Hijikata, his eyes narrowed. The man called Hijikata frowned back again.
いちいち余計なこと喋るんじゃねえよ。
Shut up. Well, wasn't also a Toshizo in Rurouni Kenshin? Did this game rip off Rurouni Kenshin?
下手な話を聞かせちまうと始末せざるを得なくなるだろう。
You keep that up, you know what we're going to have to do? I wasn't quite sure that they meant, but it was clear enough that what I was seeing was something they wanted to keep hidden. Still, the more they said, the more I understood, despite the fact that none of us wanted such a thing.
この子を生かしておいても厄介なことにしかならないと思いますけどね。
I really think it's gonna come back to bite us in the ass if we let this kid go. The way he looked at me made me feel as if they read my mind. Perhaps it would be best if I didn't think too hard about things I wasn't supposed to think
と
about.
にかく殺せばいいってもんじゃねえだろう。こいつの処分は帰ってから決める。
So we should just kill people so they don't bother us later? Now I'll decide what we're going to do with this kid when we go back.
俺は副長の判断に賛成です。長くとどまれば他の人間に見つかるかもしれない。
I agree with the commander. If we remain here, we're likely to be seen again. The man called Hajime Saito spoke with Hui. Confidence he glanced around, possibly looking for other witnesses. Then he looked down at the creature he killed, almost as though he had forgotten the whole ordeal.
こう持ちに来れると実務に使えるし。
Good to hear, and awesome. If the Zek have this sort of reaction to blood, then they don't seem like they'll be very practical. Yeah, Billy. Someone requested this. Welcome, Billy.
頭の痛い話だ。 まさかここまでひどいとはな。
Damn, I didn't think they got this bad. He peered down at the corpse, his face emotionless. Not when he looked back up, his companion's covered, his eyes narrowed.
つうかお前ら土方とか副長とか呼んでんじゃねえよ。伏せろ。
As for you two, drop the Hijikata and commander stuff. We're supposed to be keeping a low profile.
へえ、伏せるも何も回復着てる時点でバレバレだと思いますけど。
You can't be serious. Don't you think our blues are a bit of a giveaway anyways? Thanks for dropping in, Didi. Take care. See you in the streams later. He was right. Even I had heard stories about the gang of cruel men in blue coats who cut people down in the streets. But no, don't think. Ignore them. I did my best to be stern with myself. But I came out of sounding more pleading than commanding. My mind swirled with thoughts and worries. I was being drawn into this world. A world where there is nothing strange in carrying on a normal conversation in the dead of night, with corpses for company.
死体の処理はいかよう。肉体的な異常は特に現れていないようです。
What shall we do with the body then? There doesn't seem to be any physical signs, but he cut the thought for a moment before he spoke.
羽織だけ脱がせとけ。あとは山崎君が何とかしてくれんだろう。
Let's take their blood. The Masaki can deal with the rest. As you wish.
大使が切り殺されてるなんて僕たちにとっても一大事ですしね。
Another man cut down in the street, huh? Doing a great job, aren't we? He gave us the derisive bark of laughter. He,
あと
however,
は俺らが黙ってりゃ世間も勝手に納得してくれるだろう。
as long as we keep our mouth shut, I don't think anyone will connect this to us. He looked directly at me when he spoke, and I got the distinct feeling that these words weren't for his companion. It was common for people to be murdered in Kyoto. It was a dangerous city after all. I knew that of course. But to see it happen, that was something else entirely. If that was such an easy thing in Kyoto, I thought then the city itself must surely be mad.
ねえ、ところでさ、助けてあげたのにお礼の一つもないの。
Ah yes, we did save you, didn't we? Aren't you going to thank us? I didn't realize immediately that he was speaking to me. When I did, my eyes went wide. What do you mean, save me? Well, he did have a point, despite their threat. It has saved my life. I stood up as steadily as I could manage, brushed some of the dirt off my clothes, and bowed. Thank you very much. I apologize for not thanking you earlier. There was so much going on, I was a little confused. I glanced up at them, tentatively. The man called Saito was showing some confusion of his own. His eyes were wide, and he had an expression I couldn't place. Yukata looked as though he had taken a bite of something or soured. I know it's not to say for you to say that, but he told me I should say thanks, so I did. I looked up, Saito and Shigata were both looking pointedly at anything but me, and the third man was shaking with laughter.
ごめんごめん、そうだよね、僕が言ったんだもんね。
Well, my apologies, certainly did tell you to, didn't I? He broke out in laughter, so much that he was forced to wipe out a few tears from his eyes. Heck is straight enough.
どういたしまして。僕は沖田総司と言います。礼儀
I
正しい子は嫌いじゃないよ。
Soji Okita. Nice to see a kid who knows how to be polite. And which one of you guys is Rinei? Or Makoto Shishio? Thank you for helping me? Not quite sure what else to do, right? So I just bowed.
わざわざ自己紹介してんじゃねえの。
What the hell do you think you're doing, Okita?
副長、お気持ちはわかりますが、まず移動を。
Man, there's definitely concern, but we must move. Gee, wonder what else is going on. Whatever murder might have inspired Dawn, the man called Saito spoke with quiet urgency. The man who called himself Okita grabbed hold of my wrist, gave me a smile, and began to lead me down the street. His grip was a touch too light to be friendly. His fingers like iron cables around my arm. There was no question about my situation. Aiming for hugs, I feel warm and fuzzy, not scared. If I ran, I would die. Quickly, at least, but still. Even if I did, I was told my life was in the hands of this strange man. I set my jaw and stood up as straight as I could. My eyes met those of Saito as he looked up from the bloodstained coat.
己のために最悪を想定しておけ。さしていいようには転ばない。
Would be best if you prepare for the worst. I doubt this will end well for you. Oh no, he's already threatened to kill me. And I'm not Batosai. His words were like dagger in my stomach. What was going to happen to me? Was I going to die? As we walked through the cold Kyoto night, I felt horror begin to crawl in my way up my spine once again. The cause of my horror wasn't the brutal end that almost certainly avoided me, but something else entirely. Spoken with this man and watched them speak to one another. I felt from the steel warm torch soaked in blood. That I had done such a thing terrified me in a longer altogether. Perhaps I thought this was what it was like to go mad. Chapter 1. Yeah, reached the first chapter. January 1864. What's it morning? What happened? Oh yeah, right. It's all coming back to me. All at once, the events of the previous night rushed back. If only this was my room, I thought. Well, it's a rather nice room if it's not hers. I had timed up quite well. So all I could do was wriggle around in the bed, twisting the blankets around me. At which pointedly I knew that I were back home, walking up on my warm futon. If only they were all very strange nightmares. But it was not. I had met those men the night before, and they had taken me with them. Oh no, what's gonna happen? The quick photos of the Shinsengumi. Yee! I was right. It is the Shinsengumi. What happened to me now? I sat it and lay down to avoid my fate. It was at that moment that the door slid open and a kind looking man stepped through.
ああ、目が覚めたかい。
I see you woken up. Isn't this the dad I was looking for? With a soft smile, he introduced himself as Inoue.
すまんな、こんな扱いで。今縄を緩めるから少し待ってくれ。
I'm sorry we got to treat you this way. Hold on a moment. I'll loosen the ropes, alright? The man began as he removed my robe, working quickly and skillfully. My wrists, however, were left bound. Thank you. And he let out a short laugh.
ちょっと来てくれるかい。
Now you follow me.
今朝から幹部連中であんたについて話し合っているんだが、
They've been discussing what to do with you since
あん
morning.
たが何を見たのか確かめておきたいってことになってね。
For now, they decided to hear what exactly it was we saw last night. All I saw were bandits, nothing more. I nodded and did my best to stand up, my body still a bit empty after being tied up all night. The man who called himself Inoue was very polite and almost kind of, but it was quite clear that I was to do as I was told. He must have been able to guess my thoughts because he smiled at me and winked. Thanks for hard, I feel warm and fuzzy.
心配しなくても大丈夫さ。なりは怖いが、気
You
のいい
don't
は
need
ず
to
だ。
worry. I know they seem scary, but they are really very nice. I wasn't sure what to think of that. Even at home, I heard rumors of the vicious Shinsengumi. They weren't pleasant rumors. It was hard to imagine that the people in charge of such an organization were nice. Hello, Black Sheep, welcome. Thank you, much appreciated. Inoue led me to a room and opened the door. I stepped inside and found myself surrounded by the leaders of the Shinsengumi. Their eyes dug into me like so many knives. I froze just past the threshold and swallowed.
おはよう。昨日はよく眠れた？
Good morning, I hope you slept well. I remember him. Okita, was it? Doing pretty well, thank you. Happy Easter. Perhaps it's because I was surrounded by strange men, but I was somehow comforting to see a face I recognized. You're welcome. Even if it was the face of a rather frightening man who was almost certainly willing to kill me. Oh man. Well, it wasn't particularly comfortable. I chose my words carefully.
そうなんだ。
Really. His face twisted sideways onto my grin.
さっき僕が声をかけた時には君全然起きてくれなかったけど。
Because when I went to have a look at you earlier, you didn't budge no matter what I poked. Oh no, he poked. He must know the truth. You two here, Black Sheep. Wait, what? Ika screamed whining as my face turned red. Shadow rolled his eyes.
からかわれているだけだ。掃除はお前の部屋になんか行っちゃいない。
He's only teasing you. So you didn't go anywhere near your room. Quite sudden, I stared at Kita. With the skin grin still playing above his face, he glanced over at
も
Saito.
う少し君の反応を見たかったんだけどな。はじめくんもひどいよね。勝手にバラすなんてさ。
I just wanted to see you squirm a little. Not very nice of you. I didn't calling me out like that. I don't think Saito did anything wrong. You, on the other hand.
おいてめえら無駄口ばっか叩いてんじゃねえよ。
Shut it, you sound like a bunch of kids. Zikata's voice broke up no further disturbance, insubordination. Okita shrugged and was silent, but the smile stayed in his eyes.
でさ、土方さん。そいつが目撃者。
So, Hijikata, this is your witness. Oh no, 3 more. And they look as scarier than the others. The man who spoke was, well, he looked more like a boy than a man. I imagine the leaders of the Shinsengumi to be old or at least middle-aged, but they all look quite young. In fact, they look rather like a group of young thugs.
ちっちゃいし細っぽいな。まだガキじゃん、こいつ。
He's a real stick, huh? Just a kid. That was Kodo. On our way from my bed, Inoue had given me a brief description of the people I was about to meet. Supposedly, Toro was the youngest captain in the Shinsengumi.
お前がガキとか言うなよ。エースケ。
You're calling him a kid, Kisuke? That's rich. He shuffled as he spoke, but the way you look at me suggested that there was little he missed despite his rumor.
だな。世間様から見りゃ、お前もこいつも似たようなもんだろうよ。
To anybody else, I bet the two of you just look like another pair of scrawly little brats. The man across him nodded with brows drawn as he was quite serious about the subject. However, I remember Inoue telling me about the two of the men in particular were somewhat immature. To put it nicely, he had said that one or short hair was Nagakura and the other with the long hair was Harada. Nagakura and Harada.
うるさいな、おじさん二人は黙ってなよ。
Give up, you grumpy old bastards.
ふざけんなよ、このお坊ちゃまが。俺らにそんな口聞いていいと思ってんのか？
The hell I will, boy. You think you can get away with talking to us like that?
平助におじさん呼ばわりされるほど年食ってねえよ。シンパチはともかく俺はな。
Besides, I'm hardly mature enough to be called old, Shinpachi. Maybe, but not me.
裏切るのかさ、あの。
You son of a bitch. I thought we were friends.
はは、新八さん図星されて怒るって大人げねえよな。
Come on, Chin. When a dog gets so worked up over something like that. Their back and forth had the feel of a routine. They long prepared my arrival, but they couldn't quite hide the odd, inquisitive glance in my direction. I could sense something other than simple curiosity, though. A feeling of animosity or resentment. Perhaps despite their cheerful levity, they had not forgiven my presence among them. Suddenly, I wanted very much to go home. I wanted to leave that place and never return. My chest tightened, and I looked down at the floor, hoping that I might just wake up home in my bed.
口さがない方ばかりで申し訳ありません。あまり怖がらないでくださいね。
Hey, look! It's Dr. Gensai Tofu! I think. I apologize for all of this frightening behavior. Please don't give them pleasure of telling you. The voice was calm and warm, and I felt myself relaxed, even if only a little.
何言ってんだ。一番怖いのはあんただろ、サン
はい
ナさん。
Are you serious? You're the carriers of all of us, Sanan. There was the fanciest trace of a smirk on Hidekata's lips. As he finished speaking, the rest of the men nodded solemnly in agreement. I found it hard to believe that this man could be as scary as they all seemed to think.
おや、心外ですね。皆さんはともかく鬼の副長まで何をおっしゃるんです？
How cruel! I can understand their feelings, but that even our demon of a commander should think so. I was wrong. This is no doctor. But he looked like Dr. Tofu from Ranma. Man called Sanan smiled as he spoke and leaned back. The response delivered. Yukata said nothing, but his own smile did not leave his face.
トシと三男君は相変わらず仲がいいな。
That's good to hear, awesome. We're lucky to have a friend like Sanan, Toshi. Yukati and Sanan had sounded so cold when they spoken to one another. Not what I would have called friendly. Still, the man who had spoken had certainly sounded as though he thought they were his friend.
ああ、自己紹介が遅れたな。俺が新選組局長、近藤勇だ。
Apologies, I haven't introduced myself. I'm Isami Kondo, chief of the Shinsen Kumi. The most important man in the Shinsengumi
それか
then.
らそこの都市が副長で、横にいる三男君は総長を務めて、
Toshi over there is our commander and Sanan is our colonel. Which one is higher rank?
いや近藤さん、なんでいろいろ教えてやってんだよあんたは。
Kondo-sama, why are you telling him all this?
まずいのか？
Why, you think it's a bad idea? Yes, it's a bad idea. They're wondering if they want to kill me or not. Why would you tell me information that's supposed to be classified? I'm doing alright. Thank you. Good to hear, Nicholas. Awesome.
情報を与える必要がないんだったら黙ってる方が得策なんじゃないですかね。
Well, unless you really think this kid needs to know all our secrets, maybe you should keep your mouth shut.
わざわざ教えてやる義理はないんじゃない？
Saki, why bother anyway? We don't owe this kid anything. Narada glanced over Kondo and he let out a bark of laughter. Gee, they're laughing when they're considering whether or not to kill my character. Gee.
ま、知られて困ることもねえよ。
True, but it's not like telling him will hurt us. That's a typo right there. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to say him, not I. Kondo had looked rather disappointed when Hidekata spoke. Night, Robert. Take care. See you tomorrow. When Hidekata spoke, Boki perked up at Harada's words. I scarcely known him for 5 minutes. Already I could see that he was well liked by his men. He had that sort of charisma that simply drew you in. A man who was impossible to hate.
さて本題に入ろう。まずは改めて昨晩の話を聞かせてくれるか。
Well, let's get back to business again. Can you run through what happened last night? Kondo's glance moved to Saito, who gave a small nod and began to speak.
昨晩、今日の都を巡回中に不老の老子と遭遇。相手が刀を抜いたため切り合いとなりました。
Last night we were on patrol when we encountered some wandering Ronin. They drew steel, so we fought.
大使らは老子を無力化しましたが、その折彼らが失敗した様子を目撃されています。
Some of our men subdued the Ronin, but in doing so exposed their failure. As he finished, Saito turned out to look at me. I swallowed and forced my mouth to open. I didn't see anything. Hijikata softened a little at my response, but Saito remained expressionless, and his smile on Okirata's face didn't change.
なあ、お前本当に何も見てないのか？
You sure you didn't see anything? Yes, I didn't see anything. I hope that if I take enough time, they might start to believe me.
見てないんならいいんだ。
Well, if that's true, then I don't see what the problem is.
あれ？掃除の話では、お前が大使でも助けてくれたって話だったの。
Hold on a minute. I thought Soji said you helped out some of our men do something. Well, that's not true. I glanced over at Kita, but his smile still hadn't changed. Whatever he was thinking was a mystery to me. I was running away from the Ronin. And then some people with Shinsengumi uniform showed up. Really, they sort of rescued me.
じゃ大使どもが老子を切り殺している場面はしっかり見ちゃったってわけだな。
And that means you saw them slicing up those Ronin, right? Well, I couldn't exactly deny that. I knew that if I just shut up, then they'd know for sure that I was lying.
つまり最初から最後まで一部始終を見てたってことか。
So in other words, you actually saw everything, the whole ugly business. I was completely at a loss.
お前根が素直なんだろうな。それ自体は悪いことじゃない。
You gotta know it's hard. That's not really a bad thing, but I wasn't sure what to make of his words. My presence had not been a good thing for the Shinsengumi. Would their next words be the ones that condemned me to death for being in the wrong place at the wrong time? Oh no. My voice shook, but I knew I had to try. I won't tell anyone, I promise.
偶然老子に絡まれていたという君が敵側の人間だとまでは言いませんが。
Seems unlikely this attack was no mere chance. Then again, I have no reason to think of you as an enemy either. Please help me, Dr. Tofu.
君に言うつもりがなくとも相手の誘導尋問に乗せられる可能性はある。
Even if you don't intend to tell anyone, you could be captured and interrogated. I doubt you could withstand torture. Oh no. He wants to kill me. He's no Dr. Tofu after all. His voice was still warm, but his words were cold, and I began to feel my chance to let life slip away. Oh no.
話さないというのは簡単だが、こいつが新選組に入り立てする理由もない。
It's easy enough to stay quiet, but if someone should try to coerce you, you have no reason to keep your secrets.
約束を破らない保証なんてないですし、やっぱり解放するのは難しいですよね。
You don't have any kind of guarantee that you'll keep your word. It wouldn't be very smart of us to just let you go. They have a point, but still, wow.
ほら、殺しちゃいましょうよ。口封じするなら、それが一番じゃないですか。
You just killed the kid. You want to keep someone quiet? That's the only sure way. Oh no. I only just started and it's already game over. I looked desperately at Kondo and gave Okita a reproving look.
そうじ、物騒なことを言うな。お上の民をむやみに殺して何とする。
Don't be so cold, Soji. What do we gain by murdering a civilian? Kita's smile finally disappeared, and he looked down at the floor.
そんな顔しないでくださいよ。今のはただの冗談です。
Oh, don't give me that look. That was just kidding. I don't like this guy's way of humor.
冗談に聞こえる冗談を言う。
Then perhaps it should have sounded like it. Kita made an attempt at a resistant snort and looked instantly at a wall. His face slightly red.
しかしなんとかならんのかね。まだこんな子供だろう。
But surely there must be something we can do after all. Talking about a child.
私も何とかしてあげたいとは思いますが、うっかり漏らされでもしたら一大事でしょう。
I have no wish to kill him either, but we can't discount the chance that he could reveal information about us. Shannon paused for a moment. His brown stirred, then turned to Hidekata.
私は副長のご意見を伺いたいのですが。
I would like to hear the commander's opinion. With the responsibility of his position involved, Hidekata had no choice. He sighed and glanced around the room.
俺たちは昨晩指導に背いた大使を粛清した。こいつはその現場に居合わせた。
Last night we had to kill some men who broke the code. This case was the wrong place at the wrong time.
それだけだとおっしゃりたいんですか？
And I imagine you mean to say that's all there is to it.
実際このガキの認識のつらその程度のもんだとは。
Well, he probably saw something, but I doubt he really understands what it was.
けどよ、こればっかりは大義のためにも内密にしなきゃなんないことなんだろ。
Even so, this is serious. We have bigger things to think about. We have to keep this under wraps.
新選組の大使は血に狂ってるなんて噂方じゃ、俺らのタイムにだって支障が出るぜ。
The rumors get out that soldiers of the Shinsengumi are thirsty for blood. That would be problematic. These words made sense, and they all knew it. Rikata's face looked grim.
掃除の意見も一理あるとは思うけどな。これは土方さんや近藤さんの決定に従う。
Think Soyu has a point. Still, I'll do whatever Rikata and Kondo tell me to.
俺は逃がしてやってもいいと思う。
Think we ought to let him go. Kondo looked
こ
troubled.
いつは別にあいつらが血に狂った理由を知っちまったわけでもないんだしさ。
Not like he knows why they went nuts, you know? What did he mean by that? To be honest, I really hadn't thought about it. He just opened my eyes and go wide, and I saw his arrows. They flickered at Totoro.
スケ、余計な情報をくれてやるな。
Shut it, Keisuke. No sooner were those words out of Hidekata's mouth, Todo clapped both hands over his own.
はあ、これでますます君の無罪方面が難しくなっちゃったね。
Well, this is just going to make it harder for us to just let you go.
何したるもの、死ぬ覚悟くらいできてんだろ。お前も諦めて腹くくちまいな。
Man should always be ready to face death. You should make your peace with yours. Man! I thought I was a boy. With everything else that had happened, I completely forgot how I was dressed.
確かに潔く死ぬのも男の道だな。俺も若い頃は切腹したし。
Very true, a great death is always an option. When I was young, I committed autonomous suicide. When would you ever do that when you only have one life? When? Who's gonna... That's not really funny in this situation.
サノの場合、まだ生きてるけどな。
Although it didn't really stick, did it, Sano? Is this guy really saying that he actually tried to kill himself? Their jokes were barbaric, but they both broke into raucous laughter at them. Saito did his best to ignore them.
土方さん、結論も出ないし、一旦こいつを部屋に戻して構いませんか。
Since we can't reach a conclusion, can I send the child back to his room? Saito turned to look at me.
同席させた状態で誰かが機密を漏らせば処分も何も殺すほかなくなる。
You hear something return while you were here, and we have no choice but to kill you. Yeah. If I remain with them, I could easily hear something I'm not supposed to. Oh no. I didn't think he mentioned it. For my sake, only as I possibly be concerned for the Shinseng woman. But I was still glad that he brought it up.
そうだな。頼めるか。
Can you take care of him?
私もその判断には賛成しますよ。ここには迂闊な方も多いですしね。
There's too many colors lying here.
そんなんさ、わざわざこっち見ているとかきついよ。
Come on, Sam. What are you looking at me for?
ま、仕方ねえよ。迂闊なのは俺らの担当だろ。主に平助。
That'll be pretty obvious. When sure of being careless. Especially you, Keisuke.
そんな責めるなよ。俺だって悪気はなかったんだからさ。
Hey, back up. It was just a mistake, alright? I could hear Toto's voice rise as everyone turned to look at him. He looked at them for a bit, then turned to me and mumbled, in a voice he could barely. I'm sorry. I was so afraid I was about to die, so I couldn't bring myself to tell him no harm had been done. But he looked as though he meant what he said, so I gave him an awkward nod. It was the most I could manage.
行くぞ。
Shall we go? Alright. After they taking me back to the room, I sat there for a time, looking down at my bound hand. I heard that they said Shinsengumi were cruel, vicious men, but they seemed much more human than that. Then again, even as I sat there, they were deciding whether or not to kill me. I don't think they want to kill me, but it seems like they think they might not have a choice. If I didn't defend myself somehow, I'd most likely be killed. I don't know how. I'm supposed to convince them though. Or they might have been felt about me. It was clear that their priority was to welfare of the Shinsengumi. Alright. They all still think I'm a boy. Perhaps if I told them I was a girl, they might reconsider. Or perhaps they wouldn't. But perhaps that would make my predicament worse somehow. I have no idea what else to do next. Yes, let's get in first. See if I die. Alright, now the exit is. Got my memory back on when they brought me into the building. Right before. It should work. I had to work. Stood up, holding my breath. I edged towards the door. Leaving this way was rather rude, but I hardly had a choice. And my toe, I reached for the door. I was almost there when suddenly it flew open all on its own, revealing, oh boy, fell straight into Kondo.
おや、ずいぶん大胆な方ですね。まさか逃げるおつもりだったんですか？
No, I was looking for the bathroom.
勝手に動かれては困ります。
Trying to run was not
余
wise.
計に危うくなるだけですよ。
It will only make the situation more difficult. His voice was calm and not early, but his eyes were as full as ice. Today, I realized why they hadn't bothered to tie me up again. They've been watching me.
逃げればゆうべ俺は確かにそう言ったはずだが
Told you once, and I won't do it again. Go on and I'll got you. His voice was low and filling with quiet rage.
残念だけど殺しちゃうしかないかな。
Sorry, but now we have to
約束を
kill
破
you.
るこの言葉なんて信用できないからね。
We can't trust a kid who can't keep a promise. He had smiled. He didn't look very sorry. Ooh, how cruel of him. Let's go for the runaway option. See for the eye. I'm going to let there's nothing to lose. I have to go and try and escape. Sleeping around Kondo, and I took off down the hallway.
お前な本気で逃げ出せるとでも思ったのか
Do you really think you could escape? The damage from the sword, one small motion. The grace of a great cat. Let me go.
したら逃げるんだろうがアホ
You just try and run, no? The boy was angry. I squirmed and twisted, but I couldn't escape. I don't want to die. Hello, shiny girl. Welcome. My voice started to waver with fear, but I hoped Bolin would mask it. And there was something I have to do.
年派もいかねえ小娘が下手なダンスをまでして何を果たす
What makes a girl put on pants and run around Kyoto pretending she's a boy? Wait, they actually knew. You did not look happy. Did you just say girl? I was scared. I was not denying it. Sana looked at us and
な
nodded.
るほどね。やは
Then
り
you
女
really are a
性だ
girl.
ったんですか、あなたは。
どう見ても女の子だよね。君は綺麗に化けたつもりかもしれないけど。
Come on, you really thought putting on a pair of pants was going to fool us? Even an idiot could see you're a girl. Wasn't sure what to think.
この近藤勇一生の深くまさか君が女子だったとは
Ooh, someone found you fool. This is the embarrassment of his lifetime. How could I not have realized? Well, perhaps they didn't all know. His reaction at confess made me feel a little bit scared.
命を懸けられる理由があるならごまかさずに全部あげる
What you got must kill for it. Whatever it is, maybe this time just spill your guts, kids. And by the leaders of Shinsengumi.
美人さんだとは思っていたん
I think you
だ
were rather pretty,
まさ
but
か
to think you were in fact a lady all this time. Guess someone did down to you. Kondo was nodding his head dumbly over and over, as he was agreeing with a very intelligent suggestion.
女だって聞いてから女にしか見えなくなってくるんだよな。
Once you notice the girl, she really doesn't look like a boy at all, does she? Something doesn't press total.
しかし女の子を一晩縄で縛っておくとは悪いことをしたね。
Then we bound a girl and left her for an entire night, all the year. He looked at me with concerned eyes, oh my. Each of them took the news differently.
女だって言うが別に証拠はないんだろ。
Well, she tends to be a girl, but it's not like we have any actual proof, right? Proof? Rather that, I put a rumble under his breath.
証拠も何も一目瞭然だろうが。なんなら脱がせてみるか。
Now this is enough for you? Alright. Will you feel better if I strip her down? Please don't.
許さんぞ。注目の中、女子に肌をさらさせるなど言語道断。
No, absolutely not. Even to listen to such a thing is preposterous. Kondo shut up before I had even finished his face bright red. Okara's words hadn't had any malice behind them.
それが一番手っ取り早いと。
I just figured it was the quickest way to settle this question. He shrugged and settled back into his seat. Nagakura had crossed his arms and run for me.
しかし本当に女だって言うなら押し物も忍びねえよ。
Well, if you really are a girl, then killing just feels kind of wrong.
男だろうが女だろうが性別の違いは生かす理由にならねえよ。
It doesn't matter. If we have to kill her, she dies. If we got that word, there's no room for argument.
女性に限らずそもそも人を殺すのは忍びないことです。
Gender is irrelevant. Killing in general is wrong.
今日の治安を守るために組織された私たちが無益な殺生をするわけには参りません。
Listen to Dr. Tofu, and I don't say that because I want to live. We were organized to protect the public good in this city, Kyoto. We will ill serve the public good by murdering civilians in cold blood.
結局女の子だろうが男の子だろうが
Yeah, but if
今
this
日
girl
の
or
平和を
boy,
乱しかねないなら話は別ですよね。
yeah, but if this girl or boy is a threat to the peace, that's a horse of a different color. Had to grain again. It seems that women gained to tiny reputation already. The rumor began to spread that their men were thirsty for blood, things were likely to go well for them. They wouldn't be able to operate in Kyoto. We don't want to protect the people, the city would eventually fall into chaos. Indeed, they eyed each other, then knew full well the consequence brass actions would have.
それを判断するためにも、まずは君の話を聞かせてくれる。
Well, we need to only determine your side of the story. Will you tell us your side of the story? I could feel all their eyes upon me. This room went quiet. I tell them my name. I told them everything, where I live, where I come from, why I'm looking for my father.
そうか。君も江戸の出身なのか。父上を探して遠路はるばる京に来たのか。
We're from Metal as well. You came here all the way looking for your father. What's the emotion welling up inside?
して、そのお父上は何をしに京へ。
What business did your father have in Kyoto? My father is a doctor. His name is Koda Yukimura. He specializes in Western medicine.
なんだと
What? The moment my father's name crossed my lips, the atmosphere in the room to change.
これはまさか行動氏のご息女とはね。
So the good Dr. Kodo had a daughter. You know my father? I wasn't sure what the sudden silence meant, only that the revelation of my apprentice had caused a pronounced change in their behavior. Was I to profoundly broke the silence?
行動氏の行方は現在新選組で調査している。
Jinsen Gumi is currently attempting to determine the whereabouts of Dr. Kodo. Wait, what? They're after my father? Why?
あ、勘違いしないでね。僕たちは行動さんを狙ってるわけじゃないから。
You guys are all wrong. We're not after him. Tension that I hadn't noticed appear began to
同じ幕府側の協力者なんだけど、実は彼、ちょっと前から行方知れずでさ。
He's a fellow supporter of the Shogun, but well, he kinda disappeared a little while ago.
幕府をよく思わない者たちが行動氏に目を
It's
つけ
maybe
た。
like 2 hours. I should probably change the game. Hope you enjoyed this game that was requested by a friend. Remember to like, subscribe, follow, share, consider donating, and check my friends on my future channel. It's time to play something else.